This movie decides to kill off Havoc. And there's a lot of other flaws, but first let's talk about the stuff that I actually liked. There wasn't much, but let's talk about that. The first 7 minutes is a really good scene. The opening, it's amazing. It's pretty memorable. When I think about this movie, it's one of the second things I think about. First, about how garbage it is, but the second is how memorable that scene is. There's also the whole Magneto finally deciding to be a good person, settles down, has a wife and a kid, and they get murdered. That scene could have been easily fixed. They brought bows and they didn't wear their badges because Magneto can control metal. So, instead of guns, they have bows and arrows. One of them accidentally shoots a bow and arrow and kills his wife and daughter at the same time since they're close to each other. Well, that scene could have, easily not have had that happened. Though then we wouldn't have had Magneto be evil in this movie if Magneto would have done something. He has one line before they die during this scene. And I'm talking about after he gets, taken in by them. And it's, she can't control her powers. And she's scared of you. This scene could have easily been fixed if he tried to talk to them. Or tried to calm her down. He could have said, hey, I will go to the police station later. This isn't going to end well. If not, I'm pretty sure they had police stations in the 80s. It's not that far back. And obviously, if he decided not to go, they would go after him and try to arrest him again. Simple as that. Or just not cause a scene with his daughter this time. Maybe one of the people that wasn't a big part of it, or wasn't a part of that group at all, a different cop, shows up in not a cop uniform. Simple as that. But let's not critique that scene for too long. I just don't get why Magneto was silent during this whole thing. He should have known something was going to go wrong and tried to calm down the situation. But he was just quiet. His acting is really good in the scene, though, when his family dies. They bring back Jubilee. She has 2 minutes of screen time and she does nothing important in this movie. They make fun of how the third movie in most movie series is the worst when this is the third movie in their series. X-Men First Class, Future Past, and then this one. So, I don't know if they were making fun of themselves or why they would put that joke in. Angel is kind of there. He's not very important. Just when you think he's about to get important, he dies. And then Apocalypse calls him useless. So there goes Angel again, after his very second appearance in these movies. It's also Psylocke's second appearance too. And this is her last appearance, because she was in X-Men 3, but she didn't really do anything. And I didn't like X-Men 3 either. They have 2 scenes that were questionable in my opinion. And the second scene we see Apocalypse and Storm in, he references enslavement. This one isn't, totally directed towards her like it was with Darwin in First Class. But it's weird wording. It says, why would you let them enslave you when she's just talking about how there's laws not to murder people. And that's how he responds. He's evil, I get it, but enslave is a weird way to put it. And then when he's blowing up all the nukes and getting rid of all the weapons in the world, the movie decides to show us the wonderful past of a school classroom with a black teacher and all black students to remind us of how people used to be separated like they were different when the only difference is skin color. I don't see why that's needed. Storm kind of disappears from the fight after she realizes that Mystique is here to fight Apocalypse, and she's like, oh shit, what did I do? He's the bad guy. And then during Charles's battle, he says that he has nobody left, he's alone. This is before Storm or Psylocke are done. Psylocke kind of just disappears. Storm ends up betraying him. But during that line, Angel is dead, and Magneto betrayed him. Storm is nowhere to be found, and Psylocke, I'm pretty sure, was knocked out. So he still has people. They're just not anywhere close right now. I didn't really like that line that much. Quicksilver's here. He gets taken out of the final battle. There was a few good punches at Apocalypse, and then Apocalypse uses his powers to trap his foot, when he's very lethal throughout the movie. They could use the excuse that these mutants are, his children, and he doesn't want to hurt them. But he tries to choke Mystique to death just to get Charles to come out to get what he wants. So I would say no, it's not entirely that. It's just that they didn't want him to kill the X-Men. He smacks Beast into a car. He puts Cyclops in a wall but doesn't do anything that would majorly hurt him. Even Toad, was more violent than this man. Toad put something on Jean's face in X-Men 1 so she couldn't breathe. Apocalypse was like, I'm gonna put something on your stomach and I'm gonna call it a day. Or I'm gonna knock you out. Or, ooh, I'm gonna make your foot stuck. Like, this dude's supposed to be a badass. What are you doing right now? You were chopping people's heads off earlier. What is going on? They nerfed him so much for the final battle. Wolverine has a final cameo. Of course, he does get his third movie a year after this. He shows up, murders some people, and it's like highly censored for some reason. As if every other movie with Wolverine was like rated R or something. This movie's PG-13. Every other movie with Wolverine in it was PG-13. Why do we not really see him stabbing people that much in this? Is it because they didn't want to use CGI since he was just a cameo? They didn't want to use too many special effects and waste it on him, I guess. Because I think we only see him stab like 3 people, but he kills piles of people. Stryker's back. 2 scenes gone. And I doubt he's going to be in Dark Phoenix because that's focusing on Jean. So I guess bringing Stryker back for a 3rd time meant nothing. Especially since this actor did the least out of the 3. He had a little bit of a cameo in X-Men Days of Future Past. And then he had 2 scenes in this movie. So really, what was the point of hiring this actor? But yeah, Apocalypse is like very non-lethal with everybody. Besides Charles, he beats the shit out of him. But that's only in like Charles's head. But he can still kill Charles there. So there's really not any excuse for that either. I don't know, this movie just wasn't very good either. Havoc dies like an hour and 14 minutes in by having rage. They tried to show how he was a bit more mature than his past self. They even kind of show that in X-Men Days of Future Past where he stops Mystique from killing someone. Yet in this movie, as soon as Charles gets taken taken, not killed, he decides to use his powers and blows himself up. Yeah, that's how they got rid of Havoc. They had him blow himself up. Not a memorable death. Him blowing himself up in rage. Pretty dumb. I'm pretty sure it was to work on MacGyver, because I'm pretty sure that show came out around the time this movie came out. But that doesn't excuse giving him a dumb death. I don't know how to spell it, to be honest, but I've heard of it. Yeah, there we are. Yep, 2016. Ended in 2019, around the time X-Men Dark Phoenix came out, so probably regretted that. Yeah, they kill him off in a very stupid way. And they show a lot of skulls in this movie, unlike most of the movies. Several people during the opening scene get turned into skeletons. Apocalypse's death scene, he gets turned into a skeleton. Angel getting turned into Archangel, because I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for. Is how when Angel got turned evil in the comics, and he started going by Archangel. Because that's definitely what his design was going for, but they never call him it. Oh, and they also do two dumb things in this movie. They make Apocalypse a part of two of the most important characters' history. Well, the reason Charles doesn't have hair? Apocalypse. The reason Storm's hair is white? Apocalypse. It's just so weird. Just like in X-Men First Class, where they had a lot of dumb, laughable lines where characters would just say stuff like X-Men, or, yeah, his name should be Havoc. Like, that was mostly for Mystique. All of her lines were, like, dumb, and it really wasn't even because of Mystique. Though I don't like the actor for Mystique. I think I've made that clear in my past reviews for the new Mystique. But it was simply because the lines were so dumb. She's just going, well, I'm gonna start calling these guys the names, and for, like, no reason. Magneto, Professor X, where did you get these names? What do these have to do with these people? Yes, that's their names in the comics, but how did Mystique come up with it? This is just cringy. They bring back the X-Men, and they finally refer to themselves as the X-Men near the end of the movie, but there's only one more movie left in this series, so was that really worth it? I don't think so, especially since this movie wasn't good. And yeah, Storm doesn't really do anything in this movie. She steals, and she kinda helps during the final battle, since Beast and Beast and Quicksilver are just kind of standing there, since they can't really help. It's more gotta be someone with, I don't know, a ranged attack like Magneto with his metal and Cyclops with his lasers. So using your super speed or just being a beast doesn't really help, so they throw in Storm. But that's really all she does in this movie, besides a random line where she's like, hey, Quicksilver, Mystique told me this. Are you gonna go do it? And then, yeah, that's really all she does in this movie. So they still haven't really done anything with her. I hope she does more in X-Men Dark Phoenix, but I seriously doubt it. One of the most powerful mutants, one of the best superheroes, reduced to being a side character, basically. Oscar Isaac did a pretty decent job as Apocalypse, but the movie just wasn't good. Angel at least does more than Riptide does. That's all I can really say for Angel. It's a cool fan-made poster. Oh, and they actually do give someone a more comic book-like costume. And it's only a brand new character, Psylocke. She looks like almost exactly like her comic book character. So I thought that was cool, but she doesn't really do much in this movie. She crashes their plane and she disappears. We see her for a few seconds where she just leaves, and that's it. This movie just isn't good. But it's still not as bad as X-Men 3. And I will continue to slander that movie until I see a worse X-Men movie. Which from most of the reviews I've heard, I'm pretty sure Dark Phoenix is going to be worse. I hope it's not as bad as people say, but I doubt it. So now after this movie, I will be watching Logan, Deadpool 2, and then the only X-Men movie I haven't seen, Dark Phoenix. Well, I haven't seen Deadpool 2, but I don't count it as an X-Men movie. Sure, it's connected, but that's literally about it. So, yeah, that's about it for this review.